I got to find out a little bit about him and his work ethic and the job he does, and got to meet his wife Teresa, and we sat down and we had some conversations on that. And eventually we got the kids came into the picture, and we had some talk there. And the kids love their parents. They now have children of their own. It's a big, happy family. They have their events, But John and Teresa are also smart enough to realize that, hey, they're not going to be around forever. So they wanted to make sure that they'd have a plan. And I felt lucky enough that they put the confidence in me in putting that plan together for them. And it's worked out fine.
Do you get a lot of thank you cards?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And it's all about relationships. It's all, when you first meet somebody, people sometimes are a little bit nervous. You're talking about some things that topics like long-term care, whatever, retirement planning that maybe no one really have a real in-depth conversation with. But then once I get a handle on what they're trying to accomplish, there's a budget there that can be done. That what they're trying to, what the goals are reachable, very important. It makes you feel good as a planner that you are part of that discussion and that you'll be able to help them out and accomplish what they're trying to accomplish. And you can see that the retirement and all that, all the bases are covered. And
something that people need to know, too, is once you start something, you can change it as it goes along. So, I mean, say, you're in your 30s and you know what? You want to get started. Even if you're putting in $40, $50, something like that a month to get started. Sure. That's not all you're going to have for the rest of your life. Right. You can change it, and things change as your life changes, right? Sure. Yep. You can make everything adapt to what people's lifestyles are for their planning.
Sure. Well, when you're working, most people are going to have a 401k plan. I always share with people that retirement plans are great, but they still have an element of tax that are due. And obviously, different administrations we have across the country, those tax rates, things are going to change throughout the years. What you're trying to find and trying to accomplish is to have as much tax-free dollars you possibly can have. Because if you have programs that are taxable, they're not only taxable to you, they're taxable to your spouse, they're taxable to your children. You never get out of that trap. And so I try to introduce tax-free programs that will allow them to have the income they need, reduce their taxes, in some cases no taxes at all, and be able to pass that on to their children the same way.
So there's different ways that you can work around and make it even better for them.
Correct.
So, I mean, everybody says, well, I've got my retirement set with 401k, but adding this extra long-term care planning is something that...
Well, adding that element, that's true, and I would also look at their 401k and as they finally do retire, how to convert some of that to tax-free dollars. That's a very key element.
Now, is there penalties or anything when you make adjustments to their long-term care?
No. You're taking dollars that certainly you've got to spend, towards that long-term care element. Obviously, if some money has been deferred and now you have to take care of the tax part of it, you would do that. But I find that a lot of people have after-tax dollars. They've got pre-tax dollars and after-tax dollars. And a lot of times people will have after-tax dollars that we put into these long-term care elements.
Okay. But it seems like probably the biggest issue is just getting started. Just make that first step and get started with that planning to get that peace of mind.
Which is the whole idea of the book. Everything is based on education. The more you read, the more you get a handle on what's out there today. Our government is there. Certainly, the Social Security Act. For those that have Social Security, Medicaid is also part of that. Okay, but the long-term care element, because the government, they develop all these programs, but you're going to find that the government, though they have Medicaid to help you out, it's important that it's not going to be the total answer. And if you want to make sure that your loved ones are cared for, then you need to put a plan together that's going to fit your budget and understand that plan so that if you have to use it down the road, you're already set.
Awesome. So you mentioned the book. Tell us a little bit more about the book.
Well, the book here is basically Don't Go Broke in a Nursing Home. And there's just some things in reference to, the consumer and basically taking California law and how that applies to long-term care today. Because obviously it's a subject matter. A lot of people, they know it's there, but a lot of people are a little negative to it because they feel, well, if I never go in there, I've just blown a lot of money. These are programs that are unique to their situation. You still have access to your money, and you're not locking it up. You have the ability to get your hands on that. So it's just understanding the laws of the land, especially in California here, and having them be aware, what they're going to face when it comes to long-term care situations.
Right, and so that's the thing that I've noticed too is people are way more educated when they come into situations. Like if someone were to go to buy a car these days, they're walking into a dealership. They know what that car should cost. They know within a couple $100 of what they should be walking out there with. They know the comparisons. They can do all this research ahead of time, and then you just come and help take care of the unique situations that they have then, right?
There's things called activities of daily living. These are things that you and I take for granted every day. We bathe ourselves, we dress ourselves, we eat, we toilet, we transfer from one room to another. There's 6 of them. The last one is continence. When my mom finally went to a nursing home, I'm being the oldest, my mom would be told by the nurses, well, you got to start wearing diapers, And you can imagine my mother's thought on that. There's no way I'm going to find myself as an adult wearing a diaper, okay? But, there are programs that we have that if you can't do 2 of those 6, if there's, most people, if they had their choice, they'd rather stay at home. They don't want to go to a nursing home. And these programs I'm introducing can allow them to stay home. They would have professional people come by and take care of that. And even the income streams can be doubled if they can't do 2 of those 6. So if they're having challenges, like in my mom's case, her challenge was toileting, being by herself and doing that, and the proper hygiene of that, and bathing because she was uneasy in her feet. So she couldn't do those 2 without she needed to get those 2 done. She needed help. And as long as you can approve that, then all of a sudden the income streams, the plan we have of the income to take care of those needs, all of a sudden double because you need extra help. And that program, you're not going to get that at a bank. You're not going to get it in a stock.
Right.
You've got to have a special program that's going to do those things and still have access to that money if you need it for emergency's sake. So it's just understanding, what's out there, the challenges that will come health-wise as we get older, and that there's hope. There's still some things that you can still enjoy your life as you are seasoned, as you're getting older. There's hope there, and your family can feel confident that things are being taken care of for their parents.
Well, once again, the book is Don't Go Broke in a Nursing Home with financial advisor and long-term care expert Bill Wilson. Bill, tell us your firm one more time.
Wilson Financial Group.
And do you have a website?
Yes, my website is wilsonfinancialgrp.com.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Brent.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for listening to Planning for the Future, the podcast. To get a free copy of Bill's book, call 424-702-5588. Planning for the Future is brought to you by the Elder Care Media Network and produced by thepodcastproshop.com.